Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our Road Cup number 9, I think it is. Number 8. It's our 8th time we're doing a $10,000 tournament. It's the 9th month. January was an AK. I always remember that now. Boom, there we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm realBluTV. I'm joined with Fawn, and we are getting down to it. Our last matchup for today here in qualifier number 2 of our $10,000 September Road Cup, and it's just us versus Corrupted Minds. How did they get here? We can talk about that. Justus, they defeated SMCK, who we saw earlier in the quarterfinals defeat Tyson Mentality. They looked good, but Justus was just a little bit better. And then when it came down to the other side of the bracket, Corrupted Minds were down 1-0 in our semifinals matchup that we watched, where they went up against, now I can't remember their team name, Dr. Hop Billy. Of course, it's their names just mashed together. Dr. Hop Billy were up 1-0 in a commanding demolition game, might I add. 8-1 victory for them, but then they ended up losing the King of the Hill 2-1, and it went down to an overtime 7-7 in game 3. That's exactly what you like to see in Rogue Company competitive. And, well, Corrupted Minds, despite having 2 players disconnect at 2 different times in that game, were able to pull it out. Maybe that's their lucky charm. Who knows? But they will be going up against Justus. Of course, that's the squad with Ink, Gronky, Frag, who, by the way, is Tom Fraggy now, Tom Brady. He's got 7. He's won 7 of our, was it 8, 9, 10? Yeah, so we've had 9, 10 big events here at CMG for Rogue Company. He's won 7 of them. So, Fawn, I'm going to ask you, very important question here, because Corrupted Minds might be listening. What do they need to do to defeat a juggernaut in Justus?
Well, this is a storyline that we've seen before, where there is a statistically much more higher seeded, much more prominent team that we've had in CMG. There's been a lot of different times where these underdog teams like Corrupted Minds has ended up going up against a lot more higher seeded teams, which some people might just say are just better teams as a whole. But Corrupted Minds, if you're going into this next game, you absolutely have to bring your A game. Like, obviously, I mean, like, I absolutely would have to say that everything it is that you learned, even off of that comeback last set, that was amazing that you guys had. You guys have to go even above and beyond that, dude. Like, I am overall impressed with how they've played today. But going up against just us, you have to be able to utilize and understand what draft you're going for every single time and give great reasonings for it, because otherwise you're going to get torn apart, maybe even at the fundamental level, if you just aren't prepared for it.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our series layout. Where are these teams going to be battling it out here in our finals? And yes, I've been waiting for this, baby. Palace Demolition.
Palace.
We saw Palace for the first time in week 1, which was last week, September 4th. We saw it last week, but it was a King of the Hill, and we only saw it once. This time we get to see Demolition. This is what I want to see. It was pretty interesting last week, too. We saw Pix play a King of the Hill on Palace. He brought out Phantom and was going berserk. That team, however, already qualified for the main event. They've got the number 2 seed. And then we're going to Windward for King of the Hill. We saw Windward Demolition last set. We're going to see it again, but this time a respawn. And then if needed, Favela's Demolition. I'm going to have to lean towards Justus winning this as a 2-0. They look pretty dominant today. And I have to say, Fawn, they're probably super, I wouldn't say upset, because they've lost before, but they're probably annoyed that they have to play in today's qualifier.
Yes, I would absolutely imagine that would be the same sort of mindset that you would have to be in as well. Like, it is annoyed is definitely the terminology. Annoyed is definitely the word it is I would use for that. But if we look at these maps once again, you have Palace, which is the first time it is that we will be seeing this today, which I think this map is wonderful. I love watching this map be played.
I love this
map. Seeing people fight on the ground. It's awesome seeing people fight across the rooftops. This is a very beautifully and very well-made map. I'm excited to see the very first demolition there. We have Windward for King of the Hill this go around. And then if we go to a game 3, will be ending on Favela's Demolition. All three great maps. You just end up seeing Windward just last set, literally like a few minutes ago. And now we have it back again. This time, King of the Hill, a new twist on it. I'll be interested to see how these teams are going to adapt, especially since Corrupted Minds won their King of the Hill match so convincingly and they ended up making a comeback on Windward. I wonder if that will play into their overall game plan this time around.
Yeah, see, here's the thing with Palace when they like first showed it in their update shows or their showcase shows, I was like, the map looks okay. But then when it came out and I realized you can jump all over the rooftops everywhere, I was like, oh man, wait, these fights are going to be insane, especially in King of the Hill. But Demolition is where we're going for game number one. Palace, here's your bands, Anvil and Lancer. Usually we saw Justus say fixer, fixer, fixer ban, fixer ban, fixer ban. Okay, we're facing right turtle. Do we need to ban anything else? And then sometimes they will. Most of the times, fixer, fixer. Here, they're not electing to ban the fixer. They're banning out the Lancer, especially on a map like this. Big, wide open, lots of twists, turns. Then you have the rooftops and the ground floor as well. So things could get very, very lost in translation, I would say, when there's a Lancer quick and quieting around this map. So what are you expecting to see on this map? Because we haven't seen it in Demolition on the CMG broadcast yet. I've seen some players play it in the 8s and those community tournaments as well. So things can still be up in the air deciding on what teams are going to run. And then you also have to realize, Fawn, Justus, they stick to their playbook. What they play is what they play. If they don't like runway right away, they're not going to use her, most likely. They still don't like glitch. They don't like using glitch, so.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't have to worry about even picking the glitch this time around since Anvil ends up getting banned, right? But even still, what I would imagine that people would have to play is the amount of high ground places that you have on Palace. That's the terminology I was looking for. High ground is definitely the name of the game here. Being able to play post plant a lot of the time means that you'll have a lot of these different angles it is that you can attack from. And Temple is one of those maps where you can really, it feels like you can be anywhere, right? Like not literally, but you understand what it is that I'm saying. It's the fact that it is a very, very wide and open map. There's very close quarters as well. A lot of close quarters, if anything. And being able to play on top of those rooftops means that you'll have an absolute amazing time being able to play post plant because you'll be able to attack from so many different angles. You can set things up to where it favors you so well. And so I think high ground is the name of the game here.
Yeah, I brought up glitch because they don't like playing it, and Ronin is available. That's the main reason why I brought up glitch there. You ban out Lancer because she can flank so effectively on Palace. And then Ronin can also do the same thing, and she's immune to all reveals, not just, like a Lancer and quick and quiet, but she's immune to all reveals. And Glitch is the biggest counter to that with his iPhone available. Just waiting for them to load in here to game number one. Ladies and gentlemen, Corrupted Minds versus Justus Roco for our finals. And speaking of finals, let's take a look at what they are playing for, because I mentioned earlier the team that lost to Corrupted Minds will be getting $100. Third and fourth place both get $100. The points differential is really what comes into play between third and fourth. So if Justus wins, SMCK get that third place spot. If Corrupted Minds wins, Dr. Hop Billy will get third place. Second place will get $200, and today is the second qualifier, which means they will be the 4 seed in the main event. $400 to first place, and they will get the third seed going into our main event. 5th through 8th will get $50 and 2 points apiece. 9th through 16th also get 1 point, but they don't get any money because, of course, $1,000 wouldn't look so juicy if it's got split among 16 teams there, Fawn. And we are hopping into the game, Fawn. So all that money's on the line. I just showed it to you on screen. $400 to first place. Who is going home? Or I guess they're already home. Who is staying home with $400 for their team as we are getting down to it? The last and final match here on broadcast tonight is the finals for qualifier number 2 of our September $10,000 Road Cup, powered by CheckmateGaming.com. I'm Blue. joined with Fawn, and the teams are Just Us versus Corrupted Minds. A team that is usually the 1 or 2 seed is now fighting for that 3rd spot into our main event. I think if they get 4th place, they don't have to play again in the 3rd qualifier, but they'll be like, okay, we're in the main bracket. Let's just focus on that. But I think if they lost to another team for the 2nd week in a row in qualifiers alone, I think they'd be just a little annoyed at that. That might get under their skin.
Yeah, I can agree with that too, honestly. I mean, you have Runway also available on the side of Just Us Roco. We were just mentioning, they are a team that sticks to their guns. If they aren't feeling something, they are not going to go out on that limb. But it seems like here they're willing to do that. They have the Runway in their arsenal. They have an entirely new character in their arsenal, and they must feel comfortable with it if they're locking that one in. Dahlia, Dallas, Phantom, and Runway. An interesting draft, if anything. Once again, tons of utility to be utilized here. And the same can be said for Talon, Dahlia, Dallas, and Runway on the opposite side. Again, I mean, Dahlia, Dallas, Runway definitely are the repeat offenders here that we've seen today throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, and I was going to mention the person playing Runway for the side of Justus is, of course, Tom Fraggy. That's Frag Out. And, before the tournament today, I figured, they might not run the new character. But if they do, it's probably going to be Frag playing it just because it has that Phantom sniper rifle, and he loves sniping. He got into this game because of Phantom, religiously played Phantom every day. She hasn't been meta, so he hasn't been using her. Pixie's trying to change that recently as of last week, but hey, he gets that sniper rifle back in his hands.
Blue, what did I say? I said this is the name of the game.
Oh,
playing
my
high ground
goodness.
and making sure that you're staying on top of everything that you can possibly stay on top of, man. I mean, they are utilizing the tops of these temples extremely well, but Corrupted Minds just ended up playing that one better. A beautiful nade and multiple different setups end up resulting in Corrupted Minds taking this very, very first round. That's crazy. That was so quick. Not a single shot fired in the very beginning. Bomb gets planted, and then all of a sudden it's like the floodgates open. Everyone just dies instantly.
Yeah, it took a while for someone to be downed or killed by a weapon, by the way, as we saw just Runways stacking their teammates up, and we saw a double nade, an incen, and then also some more util coming out, and most of the kills were coming from those as well. I think the first 2 members of each team that were knocked or killed were because of a grenade or an incen or any type of throwable rather than a gun. Really, when they were able to push into them is when that started to happen. Look at this. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little bit of a spectator thing there. He's not really that nervous, okay? He hasn't gotten the chills. He's leading 1-0, so don't worry. I know he's facing what is arguably the greatest team in Road Company history, but I'm sure he's not that nervous.
Smoke goes out as well. Bomb gets planted, opting not to play up high. Instead, they want to get more down and dirty with it. They're being a little bit more aggressive, playing a bit more forward as well. Try and watch, and of course, you have somebody playing up high. I mentioned it before. It's exactly why I'm trying to sell it home. It's the fact of playing that high ground that means so much. They have to use their utility. Incen forces them out, though, and Delana gets the first down.
Yeah, I also love the fact that the bomb sites on this map are not totally enclosed. Look how wide open this one is.
Yeah.
That is actually a courtyard you have to plant that bomb in. Whoever has to go out there has to look up, down, left, right, and straight. Nice shot from Giaroli onto Ink on the rooftop. Tried to find a second, but Tom Fraggy downs him with just a pistol from that distance. Delana as well. Finds one, finds two. The bomb goes off as well.
Man, oh man. What a shot right there, too. Beautiful shot.
Way more
from
impressive
that
when
runway.
it shakes, huh?
Yeah, right? Crazy. Yeah, especially when he's that nervous, right? This is working out a lot better. Calmed his nerves for a second. Held his breath. Call of Duty style. Popped him. Moved on to the next
drank
one.
a couple couple gallons of G Fuel when he found out he's in the finals against Justus, it seems.
Maybe that's why he's shaking. Maybe that's why he's
That's
shaking
what I was
so
going to
much.
say, yeah.
All that G Fuel. Man, oh man. This is already crazy so far. Great shots. Wow, what a great angle as well to be able to try and see if you can find some early snipes. But Volta already gets Delana instantly. Gets popped. Now they have to be careful about how they're
Volta's playing the Dallas with that Hydra. Oh my goodness, top frag.
Oh, wow.
He ends up going down. Gronky
so
did find a return.
It's wild so far. Lots of back and forth. Still tied 1-1. Nade gets tossed up, and then he cleans up the remaining ones. He cleans up the one remaining, thanks to that nade. And now we are looking at a 1-2 so far. Corrupted Minds versus Justus Roco. Corrupted Minds, they're in the lead here, 2-1.
Yeah, still pretty early on in the game. Don't want to take anything away from them, though. They are putting up a good fight here. What's also another factor that can come into play is that this is our first time seeing this map on CMG's broadcast, so we don't exactly know which side is favored, if at any there is a favorable side, whether it be attack or defense. So we look at this Talon Dart placement. He's done this every round so far, just putting it up top, because then you can tell, oh my goodness, frag caught him from that distance. So Talon had to go back for the revive. He's still ego challing that. Hasn't even regened his full health yet. Remember, that was a headshot all the way in the back. Gronky with the MXR in his hand. Doesn't seem like he's been changing too much. I don't know if Gronky's been grinding. Maybe he's just been grinding the customs.
Maybe.
Or maybe he just loves the
shot.
MXR. Nice insend to keep him off this corner. You can't peek that for the time being. By the way, there was an update with those sticky sensors. You can see where they are a lot clearer now. A little red glare.
Oh.
They can't be hidden. But easily tying the game up. Justus, 2-2 now.
They got close. It was looking a little bit shaky there towards the tail end of that as well. I actually like how Fragout has been playing, like I mentioned it before, that is a great angle. He's trying to catch people out early, right behind the spawn. And you mentioned it too. He was like, wow, he really caught him all the way from back there. It's just having that awareness. This is what happens when you play against a top team. This is the type of play that you expect to see.
It's not even to kill him, right? Like, if he gets revived,
Right,
that's fine.
right, exactly.
But
yeah,
he knows where they are. He gets money from it. And he also delays the defensive pressure, because someone has to go back there and pick him up. They do have the Dahlia link on them this time, so they could use that. Don't expect them to. Semtech comes out, doesn't connect on anything, but the shots, that was a body shot, but his teammate helped him out, so he was the one who finished him off. Kazaki finds Gronky.
Oh, wow,
Delana with a double, however.
Nade. Yeah, wow, okay. The round that's over. That is pretty much it. 3-2 so far. They break the tie and take the lead on the side of Justus Roco.
And Gronky got revived, but he was able to come back into the fight. He was the one who got the down there on that last person as well, so up and at it right away. 3-2 now. They take the lead. This is the first time they led since they were up 1-0, I believe. Actually, no, they didn't win the first round. It's defused, so it's the first lead they've had. Nice 53 onto them. I think that possibly will not be a one-shot headshot from that distance, even with that last upgrade on that rifle. Delana 1-2. Oh my gosh. Goodness.
Wow.
Titans.
Dude. That's crazy.
Hello. 24-48. And then the last one put him on the ground. Gronky finally, he gets the shots on the Titans. Look at that. That is disgusting.
That's
That
crazy.
is pop shots at its finest. Bomb still not planted. Frag playing on this top corner has Dahlia being the Gronky right next to him. Grenade comes out, gets one, but Gronky goes down. A little bit betrayed. Hey, hold this. No, you hold mine. Now Tykins is back up as well. Someone jumped on the roof, and they're in his face. With the KA-30, he's been using that instead of the Hydra. That's an interesting choice, but still a decent AR. Incend comes out. Tykins, the only one alive, gets taken out. Ink swinging wide through middle with the Mamba in his hand. Gronky looks like he did make a little adjustment on his Dahlia, changing the objection for the 24S. Tried to find the headshot. Ink does with the Mamba. 4-2. And now we're going into our 7th and final round. We're going to take another look at those talent shots just because how nasty were those, Fawn? Okay, well, that's how fast it happened.
That's crazy. That is, like you said,
they slowed it down for
pot
us.
shots to an extent. Yeah, I mean, that's so great. That is absolutely amazing to be
able to see. What was that, half speed? It was still fast looking?
Yeah, it was too fast. Can't be caught by the normal human. Oh, my goodness. Man, oh, man. I really do love this angle, man. Like, this is so...
It's like the Tyreek Hill of trigger fingers.
That is...
Oh, there it is. That's a headshot. That's a down.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
That's just setting the tone. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, Frag.
Yes.
He's got a character that's viable to the utmost importance now. And it also has his favorite gun.
Yeah. That is...
There is a Phantom out there, too, so...
Look at how far up Delana is now. Typically, she would be playing a lot more down, but the minute that they actually took that fight, Delana pushes in and gets 2 of them. Oh my!
Wow, Delana just finds 3 there. You know, we're talking about Frag playing on runway because he can have that sniper rifle that he loves so much while playing Phantom. There's a Phantom out there. It's Delana. And, you know, they took away her DMR, which is the same one that Seeker has now. The one where it automatically scopes in. It's not that strong. I think it needs a little bit of love. Hint, hint. But, hey, they took it away from Phantom, gave her the Nightshade. Guess what? Phantom, Delana, he says, I'm just going to use the KA-30. Masters the gun, puts it on there. Whew. And he was doing some real damage with it, despite the time where Talon 3-tapped him with the peak shot.
Yeah.
So we're going into the second half here, Fawn. Switching sides, Justus will be on the defensive side. It was looking like a defensive-sided map there for a small, brief moment. But now, you know, they were down 2-1. Now Justus is up 5-2. Maybe they just need to figure things out, iron out their game plan there. And then when they did, they made the adjustments. And, you know, Rome and I have said time after time, Justus, best team when it comes to revives, best team when it comes to adaptations and adjustments mid-game, okay? Whew. And that's what's happening now. 5-2, the score, as Justus leads.
3 more rounds remaining for them. And Corrupted Minds have a lot of their work cut out for them. That is not going to be an easy hill to climb, especially when it seems like they've had this much momentum. It seemed like it was a bit shaky at first, but then Justus just decided to take the lead in its entirety. They don't realize that he's up there either. He's waiting for any sort of push. He's catching anybody else that might be lacking. He got 1, and they have even more. They're just going to push the last person. They didn't know he was up there.
Oh, see you later. Bunch of trolls hiding under the bridge, ready and waiting, and they all ended up going down. 6-2 now. Justus lead. 11 downs for Delana. He brought out the Ronin this time. And this is something I was talking about. Glitch. They don't play glitch. They're not afraid to pull out the Ronin, though. And there's no glitch on the other side, which I think goes to off their success of that first round, right? They come out on the attack. And I think I just heard from production that glitch was banned.
Justus banned glitch.
I thought we saw an anvil being banned.
Yeah,
with Lancer. Oh, but we do see a Lancer in the game, so I guess the Lancer on screen just must have been a little typo. This is okay. Now we can clarify glitch was actually banned. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
See, when we did it, we thought Lancer was out of the fight this whole time, and then we've been seeing a Lancer. Now I'm all confused, man. I'm down for the count, Fawn.
I mean, hey, nah, we're still in it. we are still in this. Hey, don't leave me, Blue. We're both here together with it. We're both here together in this.
All right, I
We're
won't
in
leave
grand final,
just yet.
6-3. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Honestly, I appreciate it. 6-3. Justus, Roco.
I love you,
Corrupted
Fawn.
Minds ends up taking.
Good to have you again, man. We've missed you, man.
Yeah.
The road company's missed the community here at Road Company. I know they've missed you. I've missed you, casting with you. Good times.
Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Seems like for right now,
this,
they were at least able to win a round, though. Like, they won that last round pretty convincingly. Corrupted Minds took that very quickly. Did not give
I was
Justus
just
time.
saying, no commitment.
What's happening?
No commitment towards that B side either.
Yeah, not at all. It's too hard of a site to push. It seems like Justus have a very easy time setting up for that. So you obviously don't want to give that the same sort of treatment Delana manages to get Kazaki. So that's already 2 down. Corrupted Minds, though, they're still in it. So got plenty of different angles to play. Tries to move on into the zip line, but gets brought down. Delana is killed, but he did all that just to make sure that they could get the trade off. Because he has to be pushed in. There's a Simtex. He has his Ensigns as well. It's a matter of utilizing that. Uses both, but he rolled back into the Simtex. They take the game and played a saxophone on him. Gotta let him know. Hey, gotta let him know.
Not do that against Justus. Don't pull the sax out on him. Although you have won 2 straight rounds out of the 3 that you've played on attack. I think the pistol round was the only one they didn't win. What's also, look at the different ways these teams are attacking, right? You saw Justus went towards B most of the time, and they were successful with bomb plants there. They went towards A, I think, 1 time. Didn't even plant the bomb. Just straight up got the 4 eliminations that they needed. But we're seeing the bomb being planted here by the side of Corrupted Minds on attack. You can see Gia. He's looking for Frag, but Frag knows a little better. He says, I'm not going to fall for the same thing you were doing with me. He's headhunting.
Oh.
He finds 1. Oh, that's Gia, too. That's the enemy that could snipe him back. He's going to pick up the infinite ammo as well as another little Semtex. Threw 1 out. He ended up going down. I think he's going to get picked up by Dahlia here. Smokes come out towards the left to shut all of those lines of sights down.
Push everyone out.
Now you can see they will get the bomb planted a little bit easier. And look who's behind him. It's Ink on the Dallas. And he cannot find any success. KA-30, once again, in the hands of that runway for the side of Corrupted Minds. Finds it down with it. Look at this. Running into one of them he thought was going to be the only problem, but he ends up running into 2 of them. Just Kazaki finds that one, and then a grenade comes flying in to finish it off. It's Corrupted Minds. Down 6-2 again. Gonna come back. They were down 6-2 in their last demolition in the last round. They were down 6-2, and they came back 7-7. So now, all they need to do is let the other team score 7th round. And then they score 3 straight, and it'll be the same story.
It seems like right now, there's still a lot left in the air here. They are extremely close to taking this over Justus. The last time we saw the score get this close, just like you were mentioning, Blue, it could end up looking like the same story as last time. I said it was that we just watched. Corrupted Minds. Trying to push in. Gronky manages to down 1, but he gets traded out. Delana trades out the person that was traded. And now the sight lines and the scoreboard is looking a little bit more uneven for Corrupted Minds right now. They down another, and they're just going to try and push, hit that W key. Dallas is the last one remaining. And my goodness, they clean him up, take him out. And now we are 7-5 on match point here.
Ink did him dirty, too. Downed him with the Devo. Little double knock there for him with the devotion in his hands. Look at that. anyone rocking this new Dallas skin, you gotta get the emote. It's a pretty old emote. I don't know if they're gonna bring it back. Probably, but they should bring it back now because this skin came out. You get this air guitar emote, and it plays a guitar sound effect. We need that. You gotta put it on if you use this skin, man. Rock out with it. As we see Volta heading towards, oh my goodness, Tom Frag actually just got caught out with his own little trick there.
Yeah.
Gia learning from the best and then using it against its master, it seems like. Smoke in mid, only covers the right side, which is perfect. Shots coming out onto Delana. He's going to escape, though. A little bit of a tickle. They will get the bomb planted on the A site as well. Might need to get someone on the roof here. Smokes everywhere on the site. And you've got Delana trying to chase someone down. Has that ballistic knife available. Smokes everywhere. With runway, even more smokes. Of course, that grenade in his hand. Tried to let it go so he can fire away. Delana gets one, then gets traded out. Frag and Gronky working together to take out Justus. Can he take out the last? No, Ink finds another one. They will get the revive and the defuse. What a fight. Game number 1. 8-5 victory. Look at that. 15 downs for Gia. And when you've got someone like Frag with his favorite weapon in his hands, going as berserk as he was with that sniper rifle, and your job is to contest him, and you are the one with 15 downs, the most on your team, against a really good team, I think it's safe to say Gia, it was not his fault they lost that game. He made a few minor mistakes, but not too many. He did a great job, Fawn.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And what was the most interesting thing about this match was at first, it was almost like Corrupted Minds were sort of just letting just us onto site without much contesting. They mostly were playing for the long con, for post plant, allowing that plant to go down and then worrying about the fights after. That's what we saw in the very beginning that allowed things to go 1-for-1. When the ball was in Justus' court in the very beginning, it became a lot harder to try and fight and deal with that, purely based off of the fact that they were being a lot more aggressive. When they started to counter that on the opposing team, on the side of Corrupted Minds, it became a lot harder for Justus to try and re-find it, reacclimate to the aggression and to the adaptation that Corrupted Minds were able to follow. Now, Corrupted Minds, this has been similar before. There has been the aspect of everyone wins the first demolition, and then they lose on King of the Hill. Can Corrupted Minds clutch this back up against Justus Roco is what I'm curious about.
Hey, they reverse swept their last best of 3 we watched. They're also 1-0 on King of the Hill on broadcast today. Can they do it again? Justus Roco win game number 1, 8-6 on Palace Demolition. Now we're going to Windward King of the Hill for game 2. And Justus leads the series 1-0. This is the finals for qualifier number 2, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning in, Justus Roco, usually a team that wins the first qualifier, especially after the new format where if you win a qualifier, you don't have to play in the next ones if there is a next one, and you get automatic seeding. But this is the first time they won't be a 1 or a 2 seed. They're going to be going into this tournament with, at best, a 3rd seed, at worst, a 4th seed. It depends if they win today. If they end up winning today, they will be that number 3. Our bans are coming in. It says Lancer again, but now I'm hesitant. Although it is a respawn, and I would rather. I think Lancer would be more of a respawn ban than a glitch. So I think that one is not trying to bamboozle me this time around, okay? So Lancer being banned out, Corrupted Minds banning out Anvil. Again, 2 power picks that could work in Palace Demolition or King of the Hill. Do you expect to see Runway in this King of the Hill for the side of Justus? We've seen it in a King of the Hill already for the side of Corrupted Minds. But the question is, what is Justus going to play?
Personally, I believe that on a map like this, trying to run runway, no pun intended, on this map does not suit her, I don't think. I think that it'll be a lot harder because the typically with King of the Hill maps that we've seen today, the map has been a lot more widespread. There's more time to rotate, go from point A to point B, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, set up like that, right? when we are looking at windward here, that becomes less of a question. That becomes less of a situation because it's way more close together. It might be a big map, but I don't think that she'll have any time to be able to set up her briefcase and do what she wants to because a lot of those points that are being captured are kind of open, honestly. You have several points on this map that I'm thinking of that she would have. It would already be pretty hard for her to be able to try and control that. So I don't even imagine that we even see her at all. And it doesn't look like people are trying to lock her in right now either. But Scorch is being hovered and locked in.
I've got a conundrum, Fawn. Okay, I've been thinking about this for a while now. Why does Runway have that name? Like, think about this, right? Like, Lancer is like, isn't she like a big model for activewear? Some activewear clothing brand. She could be called Runway, right? Or Kestrel, she owns a fashion industry. But Runway, she delivers equipment and sells it, man. I don't understand. I'm confused. Maybe I just missed. Maybe it just went right over my head. Okay? It ran away from my head.
I'm entirely sure chat will correct me on this, but isn't the point of a runway when people are going out on a runway and they're showing off those outfits that is for them to buy, right? Like the potential of that? I mean, in fashion shows, obviously, just to show it off, but there is potential to buy those, right? So would that not be the same thing? And would that not be why she's called Runway? I mean, she's showing you her wares.
This is getting too deep for me. We're going to see a Scorch coming out on both sides here. We'll see the incense come out from two members of the side of Justus. They have a Dallas Scorch, and you can already see Dahlia's coming out, and she's linking to the Scorch. I think they had this because when this idea, when they realized that Anvil was going to be banned, and they banned out Lancer themselves, they said, okay, they're probably going to play Scorch. Let's play Dahlia. We can link to Scorch and be immune to fire. She's immune to 3 people's fire over there. 5, Dahlia, and the enemy Scorch as well. And Gronky already. Look at this. I mentioned this in the first 5 minutes of the broadcast. Scorch. The kit is so good, but change her gun. Maybe you don't like the SLC. You go with the 24S. Possibly the best SMG out there. And guess what? He's using that exact SMG. So is the Dahlia. Now they are both geared up with it. Delana using that Mamba on his Dallas as well.
Trying to find a way to push in as well. Scorch already moving on to the next objective here. That nade. Oh my goodness. They do manage to at least trade him out, but they're already moving on to the next objective. Just us Roco are looking pretty clean right now on King of the Hill. That's a big point.
Clean indeed. 44 points for them off that first hill. I don't think a lot of people quite understand how important that is, because I think there's only like 55 seconds possible on that first hill because it starts when you jump out the plane. Gronky finds one with the 24S, finds another with the Insen, but Dima found one. Delana, however, has a 24S that he picked up. Or no, Delana has the 24S because he is the one playing the Dahlia. I thought for a moment it would be Frag, but it isn't. Tykins, oh my goodness, that's disgusting.
Oh,
Ink
man.
with the Mamba.
It seems like right now they're at least able to force them out of the fray here. Tom Fraggy, Delana, both of them finding a pig apiece. Now you have Corrupted Minds. Majority control goes towards them as they are just trying to set up for the next objective here. Yeah, I'm like looking at all the points right now and like really observing this. There's no way that Runway could be even picked here because it's way too open.
And speaking of Runway, I'm being told
risk of everything.
Yeah, I'm being told in Runway's lore, she used to be a model in her young days, so I guess
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I do like her outfit. I can't lie to you.
I told you, she's got my looks, bro. White gray hair, sunglasses, slick back. Yes, sir.
It's your outfit.
Looking
She's
good.
You.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, hey, man.
I blessed her with those looks.
needs to be
Speaking of
thanking you a
being
bit.
blessed, Corrupted Minds kind of blessed with a couple good rotations off the B hill and now going into this C hill because there's 20 seconds left and they are catching up on the scoreboard here.
Yeah.
60 points now for them. They're only down by 27 going into this final hill. Delana is still contesting hill 3 though. Oh, he tries to jump over and get one more bullet into Scorch, but she will win that one. Gia with that burst pistol in her hand. Now Tyken's coming. You can tell. This hill was moved. I'm just kidding, Fun. It wasn't.
No. I was saying yes to your previous statement. I wasn't acknowledging the fact that you said that it was moved because I'm like, I don't think it was.
Although I would like this hill to be moved. I thought maybe if I said it, it would happen, but it didn't. Oh yeah! Ink finds another one.
I mean, he does find another one. I mean, to be fair, that skin does look pretty sick. I mean, got the. I mean, he's got.
Skin looks good, but the voice line's really what sells it, man.
I mean, I agree. Oh my
Ink
goodness! Wow, just I guess line him up, knock him down.
A little bit of help from Frag there as he got the credit, or maybe Frag just kind of stole him. But Ink putting in work this time around. 77 is what the scoreline stalled out for on Corrupted Minds, but they haven't touched hill number 4 at all. That was all from what they could gather at the end of hill number 3. Kestrel drones coming through as well. Oh my goodness, nice shots. That's the power of that HRM. Can't upgrade the mag, but it hits like a truck. And round number 1, once it came down to hill 4, pretty easy, I would say, for the side of Justus Fun.
It definitely seems like it was a back and forth here, but we are on series point right now, guys. Grand finals, Justus Roco versus Corrupted Minds. We are here for what could be potentially the last round for the series and
the last 5 minutes.
This qualifier.
Last 5 minutes or last, 150 seconds. 2.5 minutes.
I mean, yeah. It depends.
Actually, I don't think they can win in the 2.5 minutes.
Actually, the more you think, the more you. Now that you mention it, yeah,
you'll get the full amount of points from hill number 1.
Right. That would be crazy. Why would you even need 5 minutes?
Yeah, technically you can win on the first 2 points mathematically, but then technically not because you get cheated. You drop the plane. Speaking of getting cheated, Frag thought he was going to have that one, but he got stolen from him. Ink ends up going down as well. Kazaki making some plays. He must like Windward. Like you said, this could be game point, set point, last point of the day. They got to survive.
Oh, man.
And it doesn't look like that is the case right now. They are getting some garbage time, so they're winning on the scoreboard technically, but all these kills are coming through from the side of Justus. They are getting in their face. They're getting aggressive. They're early on the rotation, and Ink's already in the back towards wagons here by trucks. That means they're going to have control of that side of the map for those respawns, which are the closer ones for Hill 2.
Right now, trying to move in, manages to make their way all the way onto site. They're finding good damage. Great headshot as well. They have been, I'm glad that you mentioned that as well, Blue. It's the fact that you said that they may be ahead on the scoreboard, but the kills are all still filtering towards Justus, right? And that's why they were able to lock this next site down so heavily. That's okay, all right. I was about to say, I'm like, he might be getting a little bit too aggressive, but there's like no way that he runs into like
get a little trigger happy,
where their spawn is. Yeah, like knowing that's where their spawn is, like, come on. Like,
well, I mean, I know what's in his mindset. He's trying to get over there to take control of those spawns at the right opportune moment so that they can have them for Hill 3. Because right now, rotation-wise, the advantage is in favor of Corrupt Minds because now Hill 3 is going to be unlocked in 3, 2, 1 now, and they have full control of it already, and they have those spawns as well. That's why you see Kazaki kind of all the way in the back distance there to the left. He's trying to control that. But Delana is got a problem with that.
Already
He
flanking.
wants those spawns for
Yeah.
his team, and he's walking back there now. He finds one, he finds two, finds the
Oh,
third.
wow.
A little bit of a delayed triple for himself. But that Mamba's biting, and he must have put that on there instead of that MXR. Again, being able to use whatever gun you want. Well, not whatever gun. It has to be within the same class that a character has. So if a character has an SMG and a DMR, you can only change it to an SMG or a DMR. It goes for the same with all the other primary classes. And we can see today already Mambas, KA-30s,
oh my gosh, man.
Hydras, 3 most popular swap outs when it comes to the primaries already. We did see an S12 tactical come into play for an Anvil as well, so that was an interesting one. Shout out to Tahola for that.
As for right now, this point has entirely gone towards the side of Justus Roco. There is very little going on right now. They still have 1 minute and 15 seconds left, and unless Corrupted Minds holds on to this objective and doesn't give it to Justus Roco for more than 10 seconds, like they'll have, well, excuse me, more
Can I
than
see the
9
scoreboard for a quick second? Just real quick. I need to see. Okay, so Gia's got 13 downs. He's actually using Scorch, and we talked about Scorch swapping out that SLC. He did so with this Scorch as well, but instead of going with the 24S, he's using the SMG that Kestrel has, the Knight, spelled like a knight in shining armor. And he's putting in some work this round. Once you get that thing triple upgraded, it's kind of nasty. We started to see even some top players bringing it out too. That was before the gun customization, the weapon mastery. Now that's into play, I don't think we could see that, because you can just bring out a better AR at this point. Ink, a little bit of jump shot. And that one was pretty cut and dry there. Look at that, 28 downs for Delana on the Dahlia.
Yep.
That is something you normally don't see in a respawn. A Dahlia with top knocks, top eagle limbs. But when you're able to change to the gun that you really want to use, but you still have Dahlia's kit, think about that, Fawn. Think about that. Instead of an objection or an MXR, you can bring out a Mamba, or you can even bring out for the SMGs a 24S. So just loving the different combinations you can use with primary weapons. And I mean, Scorch, first 5 minutes of the broadcast, I said today, Scorch has a really good kit. It's just her guns kind of suck. And now,
Right.
you can use different guns. Let's go ahead and take a look at series layout after Justus was able to win that game. Fawn, give me your thoughts on this matchup here.
I definitely think that it was interesting to be able to see the contesting that was happening on Palace from Corrupted Minds. They were doing extremely well with meeting Justus Roco at least like halfway throughout the set. But it was a battle of momentum, I would say. The same thing that we saw on Palace, the same thing it was that we saw on, 1, 2, 3. Manages to get 3 shots right.
They had to slow it down even
so
more.
Cool, man. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, too fast for the
Was
human eye.
that 25%?
Yeah, I have no idea. But I definitely know they slowed it down more. 20%.
Oh, production told me it's 20%. Yeah. See, I think the first one was like half. And it was still fast, man. What a trigger finger. But yeah, I love the way Justus was able to mix and match their primaries and actually change up their strategies. Because I said, they're really cut and dry in the past. They use what they use and they don't change anything. Now they can. Or they can use the same thing and still have changes being made.
Right.
And still play differently, right? It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw that literally all day today. Like those gold weapons in the kill feed, like that is indicative of how different, like how people have been grinding, how many people have actually been doing a lot more. Everyone's trying to get these new weapons, and it opens up the door for so much possibility in the future that it really amazes me. This is typically like the best times where you see this in like multiple games, whether it's Rogue Company or whether you're looking at Paladin, Smite, whatever it may be. These big changes that really, really affect how the meta shifts is when you start seeing some of the best gameplay, some of the best plays, and some of the best utilization of characters' kits, because you can swap to these different weapons. No one's locked anymore, and it allows for that freedom to really flourish. And I'm excited for even more weeks to come after this.
Of course, I'm excited as well. I mean, hey, a great day of Road Company has come to a close, Fawn, and it was spectacular. And also, back on top is, of course, Justus Roco. They defeat Corrupted Minds in Road Cup number 2's finals. So, Corrupted Mind will be your number 4 seed going into the main event. They don't need to show up next week for qualifier number 3. Neither does Justus, and they will also get the number 3 seed going into that main event, which happens